Hi, everyone, and welcome to the College Scholarship Essay Bootcamp. My name is Roxy, and I am the Director of Coaching here over at Story 2. Story 2, for those of you who may not be familiar with us, but hopefully you are, has supported over 250,000 people around the world to tell their stories and achieve their college and career goals. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Stephanie, who is going to be here with me leading this session, and I'm so excited to have her here with me.
Hi, everyone. Like Roxy just said, my name is Stephanie, and I have been an essay advisor and a storytelling coach with Story 2 for the past 2.5 years or so. I'm really excited to be here with you tonight as well. Tonight, we are talking about scholarship essays, and we're going to talk about the role that storytelling can play in your scholarship essays. A scholarship essay is an investment in you. It's an investment in your future. And we're really excited to dive into the core components of writing your scholarship essays with you tonight. So I'm going to pass it back to Roxy, and we're just going to jump in and get started. Roxy's going to tell you about the three core things that really make up a great scholarship essay.
Yes, so we're just going to go right into it. And the way that today is going to work is we're going to give you some tips, some tools, some support around how to approach a scholarship essay question, supply you with some brainstorming activities that will help you. And it should be a blast today with you all. And then at the end, we're going to give you a sort of overview of our app Story Builder, which will support you all with writing your stories. So when you're sitting down to start writing a scholarship essay, the first thing you want to do is know that a successful scholarship essay accomplishes these three things that you see on your screen. So they reveal experiences that have shaped you into the person that you are today. And a lot of our brainstorming activities are going to do just that. You want to demonstrate that you commit to and that you complete the things that you take on. And you want to show how you will use this scholarship to make a difference in the world, in your college, in your life, somehow in your community. So scholarship essays are really your chance to show colleges in your own words what they can count on you for and why they should really believe in you. And they present a different kind of challenge than other supplement essays. I know some of you may be already writing your supplement essays and your personal statements. Some of you may be super overwhelmed right now. You're not alone, even if you haven't started, if you're in the process of starting. But what's different about scholarships is that you're really writing about trying to convince a college that they should make a financial investment in you. And in applying to scholarships and honors programs, these sorts of opportunities at specific colleges, we like to sort of ask an important question first, and that's what really makes you different from people who are the most similar to you? And we mean this in every sense of the word. Like maybe there are other students that have similar grades as you. Maybe there are other students that live in the same neighborhood as you. Maybe there are other students who have similar family migrant stories as you, or whatever it may be. What makes you you? And how are you different than another student that has had similar experiences, similar life experiences as you? So for instance, let's say you're applying to QuestBridge, for example. You're going to be applying with so many other people that will have either high achieving merits, or maybe they have one of those things that I just listed. And you really want to focus on what makes you you. Some like questions to consider are, what are the experiences that have defined you, and how can you really use those to set yourself apart? And we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like today. So usually when we're doing a longer version of this, we ask students to bring a copy of their of a scholarship description. If you happen to have a scholarship that you already know you want to apply for, feel free to pull that up. We know that it's a last minute request, but some of you may already know. So should you have one, feel free to pull that up, but not to worry if you don't. We have our sample one that we can work with. For this session, you will want a pen and paper or something you can take notes on. And we're going to talk a little bit about why storytelling, dig into the requirements of writing a scholarship essay, and then really talking about how Story 2 can help you complete those essays. So on your screens, you see a sample description of a scholarship. This is a real scholarship. It's for Questbridge, I believe. Let me make sure I'm not lying. Yes, Questbridge. And so the first step when you're applying to a college is to make sure that you have researched the college that you're applying for. I can't stress this enough. When you've researched it, it shows in your scholarship essays that you took the time to really understand what this scholarship is asking and what they're really looking for and what they stand for as an organization or an institution. So for those who don't know what scholarships they want to apply for, you can look at the one we have on our screen. It says, the Questbridge Scholars Network is a national community for individuals who were selected as National College Match finalists and attend or graduated from Questbridge College Partners. We aim to build a supportive and welcoming community for Questbridge scholars and peers by providing support and offering growth, service, and leadership opportunities. Applicants to this program respond to a number of prompts, one of which asks about past influences and future aspirations. And then it continues on with this biographical essay, helps us become acquainted with you in ways that are different from courses, grades, test scores, and other objective data. It demonstrates your ability to organize thoughts and express yourself. We are looking for an essay that will help us know you better as a person and as a student. We are interested in learning more about you in the context in which you have grown up, formed your aspirations, and accomplished your academic successes. So please describe the factors and challenges that have most influenced you. How are they shaping your future aspirations? So right off the bat, we know that this particular scholarship is looking at how does your past influence the future that you see for yourself. And when you're writing your scholarship essays, you really want to study those prompts carefully and really let that be your guide so that you're not working 10 times as hard to answer one question. Sometimes I find students are answering every other question except for what the prompt is asking. This prompt is fairly open-ended, and the last line of the paragraph, it says clear and point blank, we are looking for an essay that will help us know you better as a person and as a student. This makes it very clear that this is intended to function like a personal statement would, and in other words, this prompt is calling for your unique experience and your perspective through a story. And so I'm going to pass it on to Stephanie, who's going to go over what's the next thing that you should really consider when you're researching and trying to start to respond to these prompts.
Yeah, thanks, Roxy. So next you want to think about what is the mission of this scholarship? That is, why does the scholarship exist? Why are they giving out this scholarship? And that's really one of the most important things that you need to know. So let's take a closer look now at the mission for the Questbridge scholarship that we're working with. So it says, we aim to build a supportive and welcoming community for Questbridge scholars and their peers by providing support and offering growth, service, and leadership opportunities. So when we read that, we know right off the bat, Questbridge is designed to offer support, growth, service, leadership opportunities. So when you're writing your scholarship essays, you want to study the prompt carefully and let that be your guide. And so like Roxy said before, this prompt is fairly open-ended for a scholarship essay. They really want to know, they're really asking to get to know who you are as a person. So what about when scholarship essays maybe might call for a more technical response or like seem to be asking for just a list of your achievements? You might be wondering whether moment-driven personal storytelling is also going to be appropriate in that kind of situation. And the simple answer to that question is yes, definitely. Connecting moment-oriented, detail-driven stories from your past experiences to the mission and the commitments of a particular program or a college that you want to get into. It's going to help you connect with the reader and get the funding that you're trying to get to succeed in college and, beyond college as well. So very similar to supplement essays that you might be writing for particular colleges, the ratio of storytelling that you do in the essay to how much you're just reporting facts and doing analysis in the essay, it's going to depend largely on the prompt that it is. But in general, readers are going to be looking for 3 things. So the first is your vision for who you'll be and what you want to do in the future. What do you uniquely bring to college and to their community? The second is reasons to believe in you and your future that are demonstrated by specific moments of learning, growth, and action in your story. And the third thing you're looking for is evidence of research into the specific program or the specific scholarship that you're applying for. So showing how you're a good fit for the key objectives of that specific program or that specific scholarship. They want to see that you know what it's about and that you've done that research and that you're showing them why you're the right fit for this program or scholarship. So we're going to go on now, and we're going to actually take a look at a sample scholarship essay. Roxy's going to put it up for us on the screen, and I'm going to pass it actually over to her, and she's going to tell us how this is going to work. We're going to take a look at this essay.
Awesome. Yes. So on your screens, and I realize it's probably very hard to read. So either Stephanie or myself will read it or take turns reading this to you. It's a sample essay from a real student that was with us here at Story 2. Dr. Carol Barish actually remembers her and knows her personally, who is our founder and CEO. So we're going to read this sample essay, and then we have a few questions that we want to ask you all. We anticipate that we won't get to every single question, but we do want to read this because we find that it can be helpful to sort of hear what a sample scholarship essay could sound like. And since this was a real one, it's a great one to use. So without further ado, I will start us, and then maybe I'll pass it on to you, Stephanie, to read the last 2 paragraphs.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Great. I'm going to go ahead and hide our video a little. So when I was 8, I immigrated from China to the United States with my family. For years, I struggled with my identity as an immigrant, being called a fob, a derogatory term for fresh off the boat. I felt more alienated than ever. I found it difficult to transition from Chinese to English, and my pronunciation had a strong accent, causing me to refrain from speaking in school. However, my father motivated me to overcome the language barrier. Even in his final stage of cancer in 2008, he continued to encourage me every day. Despite his shaking hands, he would practice English vocabulary words with me to show me that even under the worst circumstances, one can overcome challenges. Never once did he show signs of pessimism about death. Instead, he remained positive, and his embodiment of optimism taught me to persevere and to have a strong work ethic. In my father's final moments, I promised him that I would always try to face challenges directly and to commit to my studies. Remembering my vow, I have since dedicated much of my time to academics. To improve my English, I created hundreds of flashcards in middle school and prepared for the specialized high school admissions tests by studying review books in the library every day. My hard work paid off when I was admitted to Brooklyn Tech High School, a specialized high school. In a class of 1,300 students, I was selected to be in a research course called AP Capstone, where students write college-level research papers and propose real-world solutions to the issues that they investigate. I wrote 2 7-page research papers on the effects of emotional intelligence on college students' academic performance and the ethical perspective on traditional Chinese medicine. To improve my writing, I also took advantage of rigorous courses at Baruch College and studied journalism over the summer of my sophomore year. One of my personal goals is to publish a book. In the past few months, I have been collaborating with a friend to write a children's book on tolerance of racial differences. We hope to submit to the Diverse Minds Youth Writing Challenge and get it published so that it can educate children about racial diversity. Take it away, Steph.
In addition to writing, I aspire to enter the business field and become a successful entrepreneur. The seed of entrepreneurship was embedded in me at a young age. Both my father and my grandfather owned a grocery store in China. As a result of being exposed to their work on a daily basis, I developed an admiration for the risk-taking and innovative aspects of running a business. With my father's help, I started to sell toys to children in my neighborhood. That week, I went home, grinning ear to ear, with cash in my bulging back pocket. As I grew up, however, I came to realize that entrepreneurship was more than just about making money. It was about defying challenges and translating one's passion into practical inventions to improve society. As an immigrant from a low-income family, I have personally experienced the inequality of the American education system. To address this pressing issue, I hope to create a startup company that collaborates with nonprofit organizations such as Henry Street Settlement to provide mentors and customized prep books for high school students who cannot afford after-school tutoring. Alongside this initiative, I aspire to create a free entrepreneurial program that teaches high school girls the confidence and skills needed to become the next generation's leading CEOs. By offering opportunities and resources for girls of different backgrounds, I hope to instill a passion for entrepreneurship at an early age and increase women's representation in the business world.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie, for helping me with that.
Of course.
So we have some questions for you all, and we know that we might not get to all these questions that are on the screen, but I do want us to talk about the first 2 questions. So how does this essay balance the influence of being an immigrant with the influence of also her father? And what are the actions the writer took in response to these influences? And then the second question we have for you all is, how does this essay use moments to build a bridge between their past influences and their future aspirations? So feel free to let us know in the chat. I know that we can't actually really see the chat. I think I do have it open. So I can try to take a little peek at what's going on there. Yeah. But
well, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what do we think this student did well? Where do we see them bridging that sort of past and future? And while we're waiting, Stephanie, if you want to answer as well.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just thinking about, I think maybe just like another way to think about this first question is how did they balance the story, like I was talking about before, balancing the storytelling part of their essay with how much they reported facts about themselves and like the analytical side of the essay. Just thinking about like how did they do that? And I think, if you're looking back at the first part of the essay, I really liked how the student shared through storytelling the story of their father and unfortunately their father's death and how that brought them to where they were today and the influence that her father or the student's father had on them. And then she used the second half, or the student used the second half of the essay to report more about steps that they had taken and actual actions that they had taken in the second part of the essay.
Yeah, and
Anything
we
else? What else are we getting? Are we getting
Yeah,
any
I was just gonna
feedback?
say, a lot of people in the chat are saying the same thing, that she
Yeah.
balances it out by connecting every event with each other and how she built up on that. Someone else is saying that she focused on her struggles. She mentions her struggles, but focused on her growth and perseverance, and turn those struggles into something positive. These are great. Someone says hardships before and how they use their difficulties to motivate her, creating a future for those who have also struggled. So we see a commitment to her, to other people. So it's like she feels. I completely agree with all these comments, because this student clearly got so much from all these experiences and wants to pass it on to other students. So this is great. I'm seeing so many things in the chat. It's almost impossible to read all of them now. But these are great, and we thank you for your participation. Part of the reason why we want to show you an essay is because I feel like there's so much mystery on what does it need to sound like. And this student does a great job at balancing sort of storytelling with also putting a lot of information about her achievements. If you've ever taken essay essentials with us, we always stress, tell the story, focus on the moments. But this student, for this particular essay, and we're going to talk about how scholarships are a little different, she still is telling a story, but her story is including a lot of her accomplishments that she has made. So this is great. And what we're going to do now is, since we do actually have enough time to do this, we want to walk you all through a brainstorming exercise so that when you sit down to actually write a scholarship essay, you feel like you've already done some of the work, like you've already done the brainstorming part. And how this is going to work is we're going to paste a sheet in the chat, and I will make sure that I give that worksheet to, actually maybe Stephanie, if you can copy and paste it to Sarah. We're going to make sure that you have it. And in this worksheet, you'll be able to brainstorm your past experiences. So you want to think about, what are the past experiences or current experiences that you've had that have made you a good fit for this scholarship. If you don't know what scholarship you're applying for just yet, think about the QuestBridge one that we are talking about, which is really just asking for a story about you building your past to your future aspirations. So think about what makes you a good fit. What are the experiences that you've had? And experiences happen over an extended period of time. So one example of an experience could be that when I was in high school, I was part of an organization called Urban Word NYC, and it is an organization for youth poets and slam poets. And then you're going to look at, what are the moments that show how you made a difference. So for me, a moment happens, to find moments happen in specific instances in time. They make the experience. And a moment in my life within that experience of being part of Urban Word NYC, one example of a moment is when they asked me to be a part of their youth board so that I could help make decisions for my fellow youth. Another moment is when I won the Urban Word NYC Slam, and there was 1,500 people in the audience. It was a huge moment in my life. So you want to think about, what are the moments that make up these experiences that will reveal that you're a good fit for this scholarship. And then you want to think about, what is the future that you want? How have these experiences prepared you for that future? I actually recommend that you start with the future first when you're doing this brainstorm. So think about, what is the impact that you want to have? What is that difference you want to make? And then think about, what are those experiences that have prepared you for that and for this scholarship. So the worksheet looks like this, and we're going to give everybody a few minutes to do this brainstorm live before we show you how to then go start writing your story in our Story Builder app. So how this is going to work is, we want you to brainstorm your experiences and your future first. So think about what is the future that you envision, and it'll be that that right column. And just jot down, we'll give everybody about a minute to think about what are some of the things that you really want to accomplish in the future. And I just want to confirm with Stephanie, were you able to find the link?
Sarah is on it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And even if you don't have the worksheet in front of you, you can do this on a Google Doc. Brainstorm, what is that future that you are looking for, that you want to create? And we're going to give everybody a minute to do that, and then we'll explain the rest of this worksheet. So Sarah is going to be getting that worksheet to you all. You can then download that worksheet and write right into it, or you can make a copy of it. Or if you're already writing in the Google Doc, you can go ahead and keep doing that. But brainstorm, what is the future that you foresee for yourself? For now, only focus on the future. Don't worry about what set is or experiences and moments. We're going to actually move on to experiences now. So now that you've brainstormed your future, we're going to have you brainstorm what are 4 experiences. These are experiences that have happened over an extended period of time, that have prepared you for the future that you just brainstormed. So let's say one of what I saw for my future was that I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And I put that I want to be a teacher because I want to inspire students. Then I would go and think, what are some experiences that I've had that have prepared me for that? Maybe I am a TA in high school, or maybe I lead a club in high school. Maybe I'm tutoring. Think about what are the experiences that you've had that have prepared you. And we're going to give you 1 minute to think of those 4 experiences, and then we'll move on to moments and we'll explain what set is. So for now, just focus on the experiences. Take about 30 more seconds brainstorming experiences you've had that have prepared you for the future. If you can't think of all 4, that's totally okay. We kind of just want to walk you through this so that you can continue to use this sheet when you're thinking about scholarship essays you want to write. So now, as I mentioned, moments, there are specific instances in time, they make that experience. So you're gonna brainstorm at least 1 to 3 moments for each experience. So as much as you can do in the next minute or two. And then after you brainstorm those moments, we'll explain what set is. I'll pass it to Stephanie to do that. But while you're thinking of your moments, really think about the moments that feel defining or feel like they were big moments within that experience. Because you want to share a story about your accomplishments here and moments that really reflect how you are ready for this future and how much you want it. So take about 1 more minute here, thinking of all the moments you can think of within these experiences. Take about 30 more seconds. I see that the chat is on fire. Hopefully you're also brainstorming your moments. We'll give you all another 30 seconds to brainstorm some moments, and then I'm gonna pass it to Stephanie to explain what we mean when we say set. And I saw that people were still trying to understand what moments were and experiences were. So I just went ahead and put up a slide that really explains the difference. All right, so wherever you're at in the process is perfectly fine. We really just want to give you this tool and explain how to use it so that you can use it in the future. But I'm going to pass it over to Stephanie, who is going to walk you through what set means.
Okay, so we've been brainstorming. We brainstormed your future goals for yourself, where you see yourself in the future, and hopefully some experiences that you've had, and specific moments within those experiences from your past. Now, the final piece of this puzzle is the brainstorm puzzle that we're working on is something called SET, like Roxy said, and SET stands for skills, experience, and temperament. And schools, when you're applying for a scholarship, they're going to be looking at who is going to bring the best set to their programs, the best skills, experience, and temperament. So when we say skills, we're referring to the specific expertise that you have, that you've gained from whatever training or education or experience that you've had. So maybe there's software applications that you've mastered, or languages that you're fluent in, or maybe interpersonal skills, like you're really good at time management, or you're really good at negotiating and or debating with people. Those are all specific skills that you might have. When we say experience, that those are the experiences that encompass the specific tasks that you've completed and the responsibilities that you've had that are transferable to whatever you're applying to. So whatever program or whatever scholarship you're applying for. Again, experiences are general. They take place over a longer period of time. So something like a job that you've that you've held, or an internship, or a trip that you went on. Those are all experiences. And then third is temperament, and that is your personality and your character. So what personality or character traits do you have that will make you a strong fit for the program or the scholarship that you're applying for? So you want to think about what you uniquely bring, not just to the program or the scholarship that you're applying for, but to all of life. And consider what you've already done that provides a reason to believe that you're going to continue to bring those things in the future. So what makes you a perfect fit for this scholarship? So we're going to take a few minutes and put this all together now. So going back to the worksheet, you're going to look at what you've already brainstormed and write down a few sets that would make you a good candidate for the scholarship that you're working on, whether it's a specific scholarship prompt that you brought in tonight, or if you're working on maybe just the QuestBridge scholarship that we provided, whatever it is that you are working on writing about, what makes you a good fit for that scholarship. So take a couple minutes now, maybe 2 minutes, Roxy?
I was just going to say, yeah, we can give everybody about 2 minutes here, but in case anyone is confused still, to give you an example, Stephanie is an actress outside of Story 2.
Oh yeah, I can give an example.
I was just going to say that you're skilled in memorization, and this is, I'm assuming, even in high school. So you were skilled in memorization. You had experience completing plays, I assume, experience leading in plays. And I imagine your temperament had to be really positive, because I imagine there is so much drama.
Yeah. I would also say, so yeah, like Roxy said, I'm an actor, and from that, I am skilled in memorizing very quickly. It's a specific skill I have. I have experience performing in front of large groups of people. And for temperament, like, I guess I maybe am a kind of positive person, but I would say, like, I'm able to go with the flow. When something goes wrong, I'm able to quickly pivot and work with it. Just from my experience as an actor.
Awesome. So hopefully that example helps you think of your own examples. So take a look at the moments you brainstormed and think about, what set do they really reveal about you? We're going to give you about 2 more minutes here, and then we're going to move on and show you Story Builder and go over one more thing to consider when you are looking at the scholarships before we go into Story Builder. So take 2 minutes here. Take about 1 more minute. If you're having issues with the document, feel free to just do this brainstorm on a Google Doc. We just create the chart to really help organize your thoughts, but you can definitely do it your own way as well. Take about 1 more minute. We also saw some things coming through in the chat where people wanted to know when the general essay workshop is. This one was specifically focusing on scholarships. The general one is going to be October 20th. So I'm sure they'll give you more details about the timing in the chat, but just know that that one is also coming. Take about 45 more seconds here. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Stephanie, who is going to explain the last part of what you want to keep in mind and also keep in mind in your brainstorming.
Okay, so the last thing is that you just want to make sure that you are responding to the specific criteria that they're asking for in the prompt. And you should include as many of these as possible in your response. So just to look back at our example, the prompt said, this biographical essay helps us become acquainted with you in ways different from courses, grades, test scores, and other objective data. It demonstrates your ability to organize thoughts and express yourself. We are looking for an essay that will help us know you better as a person and as a student. We are interested in learning more about you and the context in which you have grown up, formed your aspirations, and accomplished your academic successes. Please describe the factors and challenges that have most influenced you. How are they shaping your future aspirations? So we know from this example that our past experiences will be stepping stones for describing our future aspirations. So you just want to look back at the prompt and ask yourself, what criteria are they asking for here? And do I have what they're looking for? I think, Roxy, are we gonna?
Yeah, so we're gonna go into Story Builder. Yeah, but what we want you to keep in mind is if you go back to your brainstorm after you've done everything and you find the scholarship that you want to apply for, look at that criteria and put that criteria in that future column and just look at your experiences. Which one of the experiences that you brainstormed best prepares you for that criteria for the scholarship? So we recommend that you do that. We know that a lot of you may not have scholarship descriptions with you handy, but we recommend that you do that. That way your experiences are tailored, the experiences you choose are tailored to the scholarship criteria. So many of you, thank you for doing this, because I want to commend all of you who have been brainstorming, because now when you go to sit down to write your essay, you've done what I consider one of the hardest parts, which is actually like accessing our memories and thinking about what we've done, especially if you're students where it's really hard for you to pat yourself on the back. So that's great. So now what we're going to—
And it's totally also, I just want to say, it's totally also okay if you're not like totally done doing that.
Exactly.
But you have an organized way now, a method to brainstorm those experiences, moments, and you're set. So even if you're not totally done doing that, you have the method.
Yes. So what I'm going to go ahead and share with you all now is our Story Builder app. So many of you, I imagine, already have access, but if you don't, this is completely free until June 30th. So sign up. I'm sure that Carol and Sarah will be putting the link on how to sign up in the chat, either now or at the end of this session. But this is an incredible app, and we're gonna show you how you can use this app to specifically answer scholarship essays. So up at the top, you'll notice there are prompts for those of you who love writing. So every day the prompt changes. Feel free to go into Story Builder and like write every day if that's your thing. It would have been my thing in high school, but I know it's not everyone's thing. But for those of you that love writing daily, this is there for you, and it's a lot of fun. When you scroll down, there are courses that are included when you sign up. So these are, you do not have to pay for these. These are completely included until June 30th in your signups. There are courses here they're on-demand courses on the personal statement, supplemental essays, scholarship essays. So for those of you that maybe want to take something like this again, you can take the on-demand version, which is whatchamacallit. It is, you could start it at midnight, you could start it at 2 in the afternoon. It's really on your schedule, and they're 45 minutes long. We also have courses on the California Insight questions, and if any of you are applying to Texas, and we have stories for those of you who are ready to start working and want to tell, courses for those of you who want to start working, and we talk about how you can use storytelling in your interviews, cover letters, and so forth. So when you log into Story Builder, you're going to want to hit build. For many of you, when you log in, it'll say get started, and you're going to hit that button. And then it'll walk you through our moments method. This is the patent method here at Story 2 that is literally designed to help people share their stories in their authentic voice. It was patented by Dr. Carol Barish, who is with us here tonight. She is the founder and CEO of Story 2. So when you click next, it brings you to the first part of the moments method, which is finding our stories. The good news here is that you all have already done steps 1 and 2 of the moments method. So when you go into Story Builder, all you have to do is type up the experience that you brainstormed. So let's say one of you really did brainstorm an experience where you were, I'm going to use you, Stephanie, I'm sorry. Is there an experience, let's say an experience of being the lead actor in a play? Let's say that is an experience that Stephanie had. Actually, lead actor in a play, and let's say Stephanie organized all the money for the costumes. So you were like a fundraiser, you ran the fundraiser and you were an actor, let's say. I can't spell. All right, so let's say that was the overall experience, those were her responsibilities. Then you focus in on the moments. So you'll type in the moments, and luckily many of you have already brainstormed these moments. So let's say one moment is the moment I was told I got the part. That could be one moment in the story. Another moment could be the moment, let's say the moment my teacher told me we needed $400 for costumes. And then we would just continue to build out all the moments. You're gonna go through your experiences and add all the moments that you can think of. Then you'll click next, and this is where you're going to tell your story out loud. So studies have shown that the most powerful stories are the ones where it sounds like you're talking to your best friend. So what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to click next, and we've developed a software here at Story 2 that does all of the heavy lifting for you. So all you'll have to do is click record, and you can start sharing your story and different parts of your scholarship essay and the thoughts you have. So let's say, I'm sitting in the cafeteria and I see Mr. Schumer and I say, I can't wait for the play. And I see him looking like he wants to cry. And I ask him, what's wrong? And he tells me that we still need $400 in order to make the production. So I turn to my best friend, Tiffany, and I say, there's no way we're giving up now. And we create a bake sale. And within 2 days, we raised $200 towards our goal. I got so into that, I couldn't stop. I'm sorry. It was such an
Lexi, I'm
imaginary
so
world.
impressed with this.
What's funny is my best friend's name in high school was Tiffany. So all right, so you notice that at the bottom, it has written down everything. It added dollar signs, which I didn't even know we could do. It adds periods, it adds commas, it transcribes your story. So I find this really helpful as someone who has severe anxiety when it comes to writing. This helps me get my story out there, and then I can focus about making it quote unquote the way that I want it after. And so you can continue recording as many times as you want, and it'll continue transcribing. Then you'll go to our tool called Map It, and this is where you will map the beginning, middle, and end of your scholarship essays. And you really want to keep in mind that for the scholarship essays, you want a beginning that sort of sets the situation. So it draws your reader in and it tells them what the situation is. You want a pivot, so a middle, that where you're really in the action, you're showing all of the things that you're doing in the action. So maybe a great pivot for Stephanie's story would have been when she tells Tiffany, no, we're not going down this way. And then the glow is going to be that last sentence, all of your outcomes. So like at the end of the day, this is what happened. And then connecting it with the scholarship essay, you really want to connect it to the future that you see. So if you remember, the student that we read connected it to helping women become entrepreneurs. So maybe Stephanie will connect it to, I want to help other young people learn how to be entrepreneurs and fundraisers, or maybe it's something to do with acting, but really connecting those past experiences with that future that she's
I'm going to start my own theater company.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Now I don't know if this is fictional anymore. So you're going to type in your beginning, middle, and end. And for the sake of time, because I want to make sure we answer all your questions, I'm just typing in gibberish to be able to show you the last step. So then you'll have your beginning, middle, and end, and you'll have all of your transcriptions to the right-hand side. So then you can start prioritizing the structure of your scholarship essay. So I'll say, ooh, I want to add this here, and ooh, I want this part of my story to come here. And you'll just play around with it. The last step is focus out. This is an incredible tool. So you'll notice, let's say I write something here, like, let's say I wrote, I realized I was happy. When this little focus out toggle is on, it starts to highlight in red places where I may be in my head. So when I click on I realize, it's telling me, hey, when you use words like this, you're in your head, we're not there with you, you lose your audience. So another way, and it says for happy, it says this is general, because so many people can say they were happy. So what we do here at Story 2 is we try to take scripts like this, and when they highlight red, we try to use the 3 Ds, which are details, dialogue, and description, to reshare this sentence. So another way to say I realized I was happy is to say, I jumped up and down when I saw that we had made $500, and I hugged Tiffany and said, we did it, we did it. Without ever saying I was happy, through those details, descriptions, dialogue, you hear, you see, you feel that happiness. And so that's what this tool is really designed to help you all with. Another thing that we really recommend for scholarship essays in particular is to use SMART details. These are specific, measurable results with specific, measurable results and actions over time. And so how this looks is, let's say some of you are currently, I don't know, maybe some of you are working in a cafe while you're going to high school. Instead of saying I work at a cafe, really bring in those measurable details. How many people are you serving a day? Like, it's one thing to say I work at a cafe. It's another thing to say I work at the headquarters, the largest cafe that Starbucks has on 42nd Street, and I serve 500 people a day. it's the same as someone saying I worked hard versus saying like I own a lawn mowing business and I have 20 employees. It's very different when you bring in those details. So as much as possible, bring in those smart details. So let's say, something I forgot to mention is that everything is saved in Storybuilder. Your moments are here, your experiences, your transcriptions, your beginning, middle, and end. You can always turn the focus out toggle off. And we are going to send a link in the chat for different tiers. There's definitely all of this that I showed you is completely free. We do offer feedback also at Story 2, and that's something Dr. Carol Barish can tell you more about. But really, we want to tell you about the free resources right now. So when you click on Story, let's say I leave Storybuilder and I come back. Oops. Let's say Storybuilder. Story 2. Let's say I leave Storybuilder and I come back. My story will be right here in the pink where it says edit, and it'll take me right back to my story so I can continue editing it. So this is a little bit about how Storybuilder can support you all. It has been such a pleasure to be here with you all. In the last few minutes that we have together, we would love for you to fill out our post-course survey, if possible. I'm going to actually go back and share the deck. And I'm sure Sarah and Carol are going to get those links to you. This is what I was talking about before when I was saying specific measurable actions with results over time. Those are those smart details. So we're going to make sure that we get these 3 links to you. One is to fill out our post-course survey. The next one is for you to get started free at storybuilder.com, storybuilder.story2.com. And the third one is for those of you that are interested in more live boot camps, you can actually, that's not that link. For those of you that are interested in more live boot camps, I can get that link to you in the chat. Oh yeah, that is that link, sorry. For those of you that are interested in live boot camps, you can use that link to get in to the chat. Sorry, the links have changed so much that I've lost my mind today. This is like my 5th time teaching today, so bear with me.
I think Sarah has already sent the link for Storybuilder, to sign up for Storybuilder in the chat, and we'll also be getting the other 2 links to you in the chat for the survey and boot camps.
So with the little bit of time that we have, does anybody have any questions for us? While we're waiting for questions to trickle in, we want you all to know that we're really it's really awesome to see that you're all working on your futures, especially during a time when there's so much gloom and doom in the world. I mean, with COVID-19, I know a lot of us have heavy hearts all the time. So I want to commend you all on taking an evening. I think it's evening for you guys as well. Really focusing on your futures. And we want to thank you for being with us. We hope that the Brainstorm helps you jumpstart your writing and you can go right into Storybuilder and you'll already be on step 3 after this bootcamp, which is super exciting. Thank you, Stephanie, for co-hosting with me, and Kaplan for having us. Does anybody have any questions? And if there are burning questions, Carol and Sarah, if you could let us know in the chat, because we are not in the other chat as much. Awesome. All right. We're getting a clear that a lot of the questions have been answered already. So we want to thank everyone for their time. Thank you for being with us. We hope that this was valuable, and we hope to see you on October 20th for the general personal statement bootcamp. Wonderful. Well, thank you from me, Stephanie. I don't know if you have any.
Yes, thank you. Just to reiterate everything Roxy said, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And if there's no questions that are burning questions, we will say good night.
Awesome. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hope that everyone has a wonderful day.